Okay, tonight we're going to speak about BaOmer and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Okay, this year is on BaOmer 5780, Shnat Tafshin Pei. And we're going to base the shir on a piece from the Bnei Yisachar on BaOmer and the Ma'amar Chodesh Iyar and the Bnei Yisachar from Rabbi Tzvi Elimelech Medinov. And we're going to come to understand from this piece and from the words of the Arizal and Shara Kavanot, the tremendous power and the tremendous significance of BaOmer and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And we want to understand also the connection between BaOmer and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, beyond just the fact that our tradition is that he passed away on this day. And we want to also understand how to connect to the tremendous power and significance of this holy day of BaOmer and the tremendous power and significance of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, because this is a day of great miracles. It's a day of miracles, supernatural. It's a day of the supernatural. Just like the secrets of the Torah are the parts of the Torah that are corresponding to the supernatural, and they are a state of consciousness. All of the secrets of the Torah, the pnimut of the Torah is a state of consciousness. It's beyond the physical. It's beyond the outside world. It is connected to the soul of the universe. In the same way, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, who comes and reveals to us these secrets of the Torah, and that's what he brings to the world. So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is the source for the miracles. And so we're going to learn about that today. So let's start by reading from the Bnei Yisachar. I'm going to read paragraph, and then explain it. And then we're going to speak out these ideas to explain and to understand and to answer these questions. Says the holy Bnei Yisachar, Ot Aleph, Inyan BaOmer, שנוהגים בו שמחה ושלא לומר תחינה, אומר לך את אשר עם לבבי. ואקדים את אשר כתבתי במשנה במסכת אבות, 5 תלמידים היו לו לרבי יוחנן בן זכאי, אמר להם צאו וראו איזו דרך טובה שידבק בה האדם. על כך צריך לומר לשאל להם איזה טוב כללי שיהיה כולל כל הטובות. גדילות הם האחי, מהו השאלה תורה ומצוות הם הטוב, מהו השאלה תורה ומצוות הם הטוב, כמה דעת אמר, ראה נתתי לפניך היום את החיים ואת הטוב. רבי אליעזר אומר עין טובה, רבי יהושע אומר חבר טוב, רבי יוסף אומר שכן טוב, רבי שמעון אומר הרואה את הנולד, רבי אלעזר אומר לב טוב, ואמר להן, רואה אני את דברי רבי אלעזר בן ערך מדבריכם, שמכלל דבריו דבריכם עד כאן. הנה מה שיש לבונן. א', אמר להם צאו וראו, היכן ציווה להם לראות. ב', כל דבריהם שאמר כל אחד ואחד מהיכן עמדו. וג', מה שאמר להם רבי יוחנן בן זכאי, רואה אני שבכלל דבריו, היך יוכלל בכלל לב טוב, חבר טוב ושכן טוב, ורואה את הנולד וגם עין טובה. הלא פעולת העין קודם ללב, כעניין שאמרו העין רואה והלב חומד. So the Bnei Yisachar wants to explain to us the significance of this day of BaOmer, and the way that he is going to explain it is by first explaining to us this Mishnah in Masechet Avot. Very famous Mishnah in Masechet Avot, where it says that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai had 5 Talmidim, 5 disciples to Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, and he told them, go and contemplate, go out and see, is the actual words that he says in the Mishnah. Go out and see. But it means to contemplate what is the way of good. What is the good way? What is the best way? The way that is called the path of goodness. That in that path a person should cleave. That's the path that a person should become one with, should align themselves with. Okay? Obviously, says the Bnei Yisachar, he's not just asking them what is a good path, right? That includes all the other good, because obviously it's Torah and mitzvot, right? So obviously he means what is an attitude or a state of mind or a way of living your life, something that you should focus on that will include the Torah and mitzvot in the best possible way. It will include connection to Hashem, and it will include the mitzvot in your relationship with Hashem, and the mitzvot in your relationship with your fellow man. It will include your own personal growth, your own personal spiritual growth, your own personal physical success as well. It will include all the good in one. And it will bring to all of the good that we know is in the Torah and in the mitzvot. And so Rabbi Eliezer was one of his Talmidim. He said, a good eye, seeing with a good eye. Rabbi Yoshua said, having a good partner or a good friend. Rabbi Yossi says, having a good neighbor. Rabbi Shimon says, being able to see the outcome of things, okay? Seeing the outcome of your actions or what will be from X, Y, and Z if people continue acting in this way or living this way, or if I continue living in this way with this attitude, with this same with this same belief system, or with the same state of mind, or with the same habits that I'm living right now, what will come out of that, right? So that's Haro'et HaNolad. And then Rabbi Elazar ben Arach is his full name. He said a good heart, Lev Tov. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, when he heard that, he said to them, I see the words of Rabbi Elazar ben Arach more truthful and more accurate and more on point than all of your words. Why is that? Because his words, what does he say? A good heart, that includes everything that you all said. So we have a couple of questions. First of all, he told them, go out and see. Where are they supposed to go out to see? Second of all, each one of them, where's the source for each one of their, when said a good friend, a good neighbor, being able to see the outcome of things, where do they get that from? And third of all, when Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai says that I see Rabbi Elazar's words of a good heart, because his words of a good heart includes all of your words, how are all their words included in a good heart? How is a good partner, a good friend, a good neighbor, seeing the outcome of things, how is that included in a good heart? Next paragraph, והנה ציווה להם רבי יוחנן בן זכאי שיהיו מתבוננים מן התורה איזה דבר הוא טוב כללי. והתלמידים החכמים הבינו בדברי רבם אשר הדעת הזה נלמד מן הטוב הראשון הנזכר בתורה, הוא הטוב הכללי הכולל לכל דרכי התורה. והוא על פי דרך שאמרו רז"ל הרואה ט' בחלום סימן יפה לו. הואיל ופתחה בו התורה בתיבת טוב תחילה, כי מן בראשית התיבת טוב ואין אות ט', נשמע מזה שיש ללמוד מהאות והתיבה שנכתב בתורה בראשיתה. היינו שאותו האות והתיבה שנזכר בתחילה בתורה, אותו הדבר הוא דבר כללי לכל הנאמר אחריו. והנה התורה הוא טוב, אין טוב אלא תורה, שנאמר כי לקח טוב נתתי לכם. ממילא כל דרכי התורה היא טוב, אבל כללות טובות התורה בוודאי יש ללמוד מן הטוב הראשון הנכתב בתורה בכנ"ל. So he says that it must be that when he told them to go out and to it means that they should go and they should contemplate from the Torah itself what is actual good. Why? Because there's no true understanding and true knowledge that is not found in the Torah. And therefore, if you want to find the most important way, the most important path to align yourself, to be successful and to be happy and to be full of all blessings in this world and the next world, and to live the best life possible, then it must be that understanding and that knowledge is in the Torah, that wisdom is in the Torah as well. And so that's what he asked his Talmidim to do, to go and find and contemplate and understand this from the Torah and to prove it from the Torah, find the source for it in the Torah. And so the way that they're going to find that out is definitely from this rule that we know, and this is a famous rule that we see in the words of the Gaon Mivilna, we see it in the Mekubalim, the Sephardi Mekubalim, we see it by the Gdolim of the Chassidut, all of the tzaddikim throughout the generations all point to this rule. And the rule is that if you want to find out what the essence of something else is, what is the source of something, then you have to look in the Torah, the first place in the Torah that it mentions that thing, then we know that from the context of the way it's brought in the Torah in the first place, that will teach us about the essence of that thing. And there are tremendous, tremendous lessons to be learned, and that are learned by our tzaddikim in the past generations. Rabbi Tzadok Yaakov Lublin and the Gaon Vilna and all these tzaddikim and Mekubalim learned tremendous lessons through paying attention and using this rule. And so in the same way, if you want to find out what is good, what is the essence of good, then look at the first place in the Torah that it mentions good. And this is also really, we can see this in the Gemara. The Gemara in Masechet Baba Kama says that a person who sees the letter tet in his dream, so he should expect good, or he should know that that's a good sign for him, for his life, for what is yet to be. Why is that? So obviously it's because the first place in the Torah that we have the letter tet, the first letter tet in the whole Torah is the word tov in Bereshit. And so from here we see that this letter is connected to good. And when you see this letter in your dream, so then that is good. And so we should pay attention and look at the first place in the Torah that it says good, this word tov, in order to understand from that, from the way the Torah brings it, to understand what is the essence of good and what is this pathway of good that we should align ourselves with. And that's exactly what the 5 Talmidim of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai did. And so that's what he's going to point out right now, each one of these 5 things, how they learned it from this first place in the Torah that it says Tov. והנה יצאו התלמידים ודקדק כל אחד מן הטוב הראשון הנאמר בתורה שהוא בוודאי טוב הכללי. הנה למד רבי אליעזר, הנה טוב הראשון הנזכר בתורה הוא וירא אלוהים את האור כי טוב. הנה תלוי הטוב הראשון בתורה בראייה. מזה נלמד הדרך הטוב הכללי הוא עין טובה. So Rabbi Eliezer that said a good eye, how did he learn it? Because the first place in the Torah where it says good, it says in the context of sight, seeing. It says vayar Elohim et ha'or ki tov. Hashem saw, looked, and he saw that the light was good. And so seeing is what was the first good, was something that Hashem saw. And so that's why good, using your sense of sight to see with a good eye, that is the way of good. That is the path of good that you should align yourself with. And that will include all the other good, according to Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Yoshua למד מדכתיב שהיה חושך על פני תהום ויאמר אלוהים יהיה אור ונעשה אור חבר לחושך. וירא אלוהים כי טוב נשמע דרך הטוב הכללי הוא חבר טוב. Rabbi Yoshua said, a good friend is the ultimate good, and that's the good you should align yourself with that will bring you to all the other good in the world, physically and spiritually. And where does he learn that from? Because in that context of the first good in the Torah, it says that there was darkness in the world, and Hashem said there shall be light, and the light combined itself with the darkness. And so light became a good friend to the darkness. And then it says that Hashem saw the light, that it was good. So that means that Hashem saw that this good friend to the darkness, which was the light that Hashem now combined with the darkness, he saw that that was good. And so from here, Rabbi Yeshua says that a good friend is the ultimate good that we should bring, that will bring to all good. Rabbi Yosef Omer Shachen Tov, דהרי כתיב וירא אלוהים את האור כי טוב ויבדל, ודרשו בזה חז"ל, כמו שפירש רש"י בזה, ראה שאין נאה שיהיה האור משתמש בערבוביה עם החושך, וקבע לזה תחומו ביום ולזה תחומו בלילה, היינו סמיכות בשכנות זה לזה, ועל זה נאמר וירא כי טוב. הנה נשמע שכן טוב, הוא הדרך הטוב הכללי. So, Rabbi Yossi said, a good neighbor. A good neighbor means that you're not living in the same house. It means that you're living next to each other. Each one has his own place, his own life, but you are influencing and influenced by each other in a good way. And that's a good neighbor. In the same way, and he learns it from the context that Hashem saw that light and darkness should not be a mixture as one. They should have their own separate boundary, but they will be neighbors to each other. And so light is a good neighbor to the darkness. And when Hashem saw that, Hashem saw that this was good. And so that's the good that brings to all good, is having a good neighbor. רבי שמעון אומר, הרואה את הנולד כי וירא אלוהים את האור כי טוב, דרשו חז"ל שצפה הקדוש ברוך הוא במעשיהם של רשעים וראה כי טוב לגנוז את האור, הנה נשמע הטוב הכללי הוא הרואה את הנולד. Rabbi Shimon says that the ultimate good that brings to all good is being able to see the outcome of things. And we see this in that pasuk in the Torah in Bereshit, where Chazal, there's famous medrash that Hashem, when he created the light, the first light that Hashem created was so good, it was so great, it was so awesome, it was so powerful. Hashem saw that this light was a light that if it were accessible to, and this light was a state of Ruach HaKodesh, it was a state of divine inspiration and divine supernatural intuition, and supernatural, a super sense of the divine, experiencing the divine. And Hashem saw that if that were accessible, and that inner greater supernatural power were accessible to the Rishaim, to the sinners, then they would do a lot of harm with that. And so that's why Hashem hid it in the Torah, so that only tzaddikim that are worthy will have access to it. And then it says that Hashem saw that, and Hashem saw the light, and it was good. So that means that Hashem saw this, seeing the outcome of having that tremendously good light accessible to the sinners and hiding it from them. Hashem saw that was good. And so that's the ultimate good, is being able to see the outcome of things. Okay, and then finally, Rabbi Elazar ben Arach, Omer, Lev Tov. Rabbi Elazar ben Arach says a good heart. Where does he learn that from? כי מהתחלת התורה בראשית עד תיבת טוב לב תיבות. יורה על לב טוב הוא הטוב הכללי. על כן אמר רבי יוחנן בן זכאי, רואה אני שבכלל דבריו דבריכם, כי הן אמת שגם דבריכם נשמעים מן התורה הזו, שכל אלה הם טובות כוללים, אבל הטוב שלמד רבי אלעזר בן ערך נשמע מן התורה, שהוא כולל גם כל אלה טובות שאמרתם. והנה לימוד כל אחד הוא רק מהפסוקים המיוחדים המוסמך אל הטוב, והנה הוא למד מכל הכלל, דהיינו מהתחלת התורה עד הטוב. אם כן נשמע שהטוב ההוא כולל כל הטובות שאמרתם, והם אינם כוללים דבריו, והוא דבר נחמד להבין וישר מוצא דעת. Rabbi Elazar ben Arach learned it because if you count the amount of letters from the beginning of the Torah until the first time it says Tov, there are 32 letters. The 33rd letter in the Torah is the Tet of Tov. So you count 32 letters, which is Lev, that's the heart. And then the next letter is Tov, a good heart. And the reason why this includes all the other things that all the other Talmudim said is because each one of them learned from the context of the pasuk beforehand or the pasuk afterwards. But Rabbi Elazar ben Arach learned it from the including and counting every letter in the Torah until the first place that it mentions Tov. And so his words include everything that everyone else said. Okay? Now, in the Sfirat Omer, up until Lag BaOmer, we have 32 days. 32 days up until the day of the 33rd, until Lag BaOmer. And so the 32 days represent the heart. 32 is the numerical value of Lev, heart. And then, now, on Lag BaOmer, from now until Shavuot, from now until the end of the Sfirat Omer, we have another Tov days. We have another 17, the gematria, the numerical value of Tov. And so all of Sfirat Omer together is the gematria of Lev Tov. Lev until Lag BaOmer, which is the heart. And then on Lag BaOmer, we have 12 days until Shavuot. Okay, so keep that in mind as we read this next piece. Vehine ayin, I'm just going to skip the Haga, okay, that paragraph. I'm going to continue from Vehine. והנה עין בדברנו בדרושים לחג הפסח בכוונת ליל א' שהוא הכל בחיפזון נעשים כל הערות והשפעות המוחין בתערותא דלעילא שלא על ידי מעשינו והנה להיות הערה שלא על ידי מעשינו אין לזה קיום. אין לזה קיום, כן ציוונו השם יתברך אחר כך מצוות ספירת העומר מ"ט יום, ואנו סופרים יום אחר יום דרגה בתרתגה מאירין האורות על ידי מעשינו המאירין האורות הנצרכים לקבלת התורה על ידי מעשינו ויש לזה קיום. ואז הוא יום קבלת התורה, והנה ימי הספירה הם מ"ט ימים מעניין לב טוב הנלמד על הטוב הכללי, מן תיבת בראשית עד וירא אלוהים כי טוב. והיינו בדרושים הנ"ל עניין כוונות הלילה הזה, מה או בין מצא אבסג בגמטריה יהי אור סוד אור הגנוז הווה מאוד. הוא הטוב הכללי לתורה אשר בא גנוז האור הטוב. כן ציוונו השם יתברך לספור קודם מתן תורה מ"ט ימים עניין לב טוב. אין טוב אלא תורה, כמה שנאמר, כי לקח טוב נתתי לכם תורתי. ועל כן נקרא תורה טוב, מפני שבה נגנז האור, כי טוב. ויש בתורה לב נתיבות חוכמה, בראשית תרגם יונתן בחוכמתה סוד ראשית חוכמה כידוע, הרי לך בתורה לב, היינו לב נתיבות חוכמה, טוב, היינו אור הגנוז אור כי טוב. על כן, להבנת התורה ציוונו השם יתברך לספור מ"ט ימים, מניין לב טוב, ואחר כך הוא יום קבלת התורה. ומעתה קורא נעים, תנה לי בך הטוב, ותראה רמיזת לב בתורה, הוא רק בחשבון לב תיבות מן בראשית התיבה טוב, כי מראשית התורה הקדומה רשומה חוכמתך סתומה, מאין תימצא והנה העלמה, כן נרמז הלב רק בחשבון התיבות מן בראשית. לב תבין עד תיבת טוב, רמז לב נתיבותיה אין נעלמים, אורייתא מחוכמה נפקת, והתיבת טוב הוא בפירוש בתורה, מזה נשמע בהגיע איתותינו עדודים במצוות ספירתנו להכנעת לב טוב, לקבלת התורה בהשלים בספירה מספר לב, אז מתגלה הטוב אור הגנוז שנגנז בתורה. על כן עושים היום הזה יום שמחה או צדיקים אבן, אי אפשר לפרש. Okay, let's stop here and I'm going to explain this now in two different ways. The Bnei Yisachar is explaining that, as we know, the Sfirat HaOmer is the ultimate preparation for receiving the Torah. In the Torah, we don't have a date for Shavuot. It doesn't say on the 6th of Sivan you have Shavuot. In the Torah, it says on the 50th day of Sfirat HaOmer you have Shavuot. And that implies that through our 50 days, through our 49 days of counting, we create the 50th day, we create the day of receiving the Torah. Receiving the Torah is in effect what we receive from the 49 days of Sfirat Omer. So Sfirat Omer is this process of receiving the Torah, of preparing ourselves to receive the Torah. That means that the light of the Torah is being given to us. The preparation for that light is happening in 49 increments, right? In the 49 days of Sfirat Omer. And so the way the Bnei Yisachar explains it, he explains that the Lev, the 32 days at the beginning, in the first half of the Sfirat Omer, represent what's called Lev Netivot Chochma. Lev Netivot Chochma is a light that we know is drawn from the Chochma, the sphere of Chochma, the divine consciousness, the divine wisdom of Hashem, the infinite wisdom of the Ribono Shel Olam. And it's a very, very, it's supernatural, it's beyond our grasp, and it's impossible to understand naturally. It's impossible to grasp it with our natural senses. This place of Lev Netivot Chochma. The Zohar, the Sefer Yetzirah, and the Arizal explain that the Lev 32 of this Lev Netivot Chochma represent the beginning of creation, because they are made up of two parts. They are made up of 22 letters of the Torah plus the 10 Sfirot. And so the 10 Sfirot and the 22 letters of the Torah, 22 plus 10 is 32. And that's the Lev Netivot Chochma. These are these 32 pathways of the wisdom of Hashem that are drawn into the heart. And then they are drawn into the heart, and they are only at that point are they, that's the beginning of being able to grasp that tremendous light, to be able to receive it. The heart is the vessel of the Chochma. The Bina is the vessel of the Chochma. And so, according to the Bnei Yisachar, the way he explains is that the first 32 days of the Sfirat Omer is a time that is corresponding to the light of the Lev Netivot Chochma, which is so beyond our grasp, so beyond our reach, that they are only alluded to in the Torah in the 32 letters. Only as 32, if you count 32 letters, and from the word Bereshit all the way to Tov, so that's where it is represented. These 32 pathways of Chachma. It's represented in such a hidden way that is exactly what Chachma, these pathways of Chachma, are in essence. They are hidden, they are concealed, as we see also in the song of the El Mistater, Bereshit Chochmatecha Setuma, right? Vehi Ne'elama. The Chochma is hidden, it's concealed, it's beyond our grasp, it's supernatural. It's like a mashal for that, a metaphor to understand that, even though it's even beyond that, but just to kind of understand a little bit, imagine the inspiration of an invention before it's received in the heart of the inventor. Before that inspiration is received in the heart, just that spark as it is in source. Okay, so it's beyond graspable. And if you would ask anyone that had these inspirations that led to a tremendous invention, they would say they don't know where that came from, right? They don't know where that, because it's in grasp, it's beyond grasp, it's beyond the natural. It's not based on certain understandings that they had before, an A and a B and a C equals D. No, it doesn't go like that. It's beyond what their mind can grasp consciously. And so that's just a mashal, just a parable, just a metaphor to understand a little bit, to connect a little bit, to understand what does it mean that these netivot chokhmah are so supernatural, beyond the regular senses, beyond the graspable. And then on the day of Lag BaOmer, says the Bnei Yisachar, we start being able to grasp that light in our hearts. And that's why the tov, the good of that light, is starting to be sensed, it's starting to be experienced. And from now until Shavuot, we are beginning to experience the sweetness of that light. Beforehand, it was just an inspiration. It was just a spark. It was just a light that was shining upon us, but we didn't even know that it was, we weren't even able to experience it yet. And this point, through the process of the first 32 days of the Sfirat Omer, we are starting to experience the sweetness, the goodness of this light, which is the light of the Torah. Because as the Mishnah in Masechet Avot says, that there is nothing that is called good. The essence of good is the Torah. As it says in the Pasuk, Hashem says about the Torah, Ki lekach tov natati lachem. Okay, I have given you a good present. I have given you the essence of good. Ki lekach tov natati lachem torati, my Torah al ta'azovu, do not abandon. So the essence of good is Torah. And the good of the Torah is it takes 32 days to come to the point where you can start experiencing how good that Torah is. And that's what we're beginning to experience from now until Shavuot. That's the way the Bnei Yisachar explains it. Now, I have another way of understanding it and another way of explaining it based on things that the Maharal says. And that is that, and this is going from the opposite direction. And so this perspective is that the first 32 days of Sfirat Omer is a time where we work on purifying our heart. We work on aligning our heart in the right place. We work on connecting our heart to the divine. And only through that process of the first 32 days, purifying your heart, aligning your heart, connecting it in the right way, then on the 33rd day, we begin to experience the godliness, which is beyond all of those layers of darkness that we removed from our heart up through the first 32 days. And in this understanding, it is also beautiful, and it's also understood why the first 32 days are only hinted as the numbers of the letters at the beginning of the Torah, and they're not written explicitly like the 33rd letter in the Torah is written explicitly, Tov, right? The first 32 are hidden because it's in that concealment that we are working during the first 32 days of the Omer. And only on the 33rd day do we start having the revelation of the godliness in the heart. Like Rabbi Nachman says, that the main godliness is in the heart of a person. That's where the godliness is experienced. The Beit HaMikdash, the Mishkan, the Kodesh HaKodashim, the Holy of Holies, in your own personal world is in your heart. Ikara Elokut hi balev, says Rabbi Nachman. And that happens by Lev Tahor Beradi Elohim, by V'Taher Libenu, purifying your heart during the first 32 days of the Omer, and then you get to this point of the 33rd of the next of the Tov, experiencing the good in preparation for the receiving the Torah, for appreciating and receiving the Torah. Now, another aspect that we have in this day of Lag BaOmer is that in the Sfirat Omer, the 33rd day, every day of the Sfirat Omer is a certain sphera that is corresponding to it, that we rectify in that day. And as Rabbi Nachman says, that if you pay attention, if someone really understands the Spirit and they pay attention to everything that is going on in each one of the days of Sfirat Omer, So they will realize and recognize that every word, all the words that are spoken and all the thoughts that are thought and all the experiences that are had are all relating to and connected to the sphere of that day, that specific sphere of that day. And so the day of Lag BaOmer, the sphere that is connected the day to the day of Lag BaOmer is Hod Shebahod. The whole 5th week of the Omer is the sphere of Hod, and that each week is split into 7 spherot. And so the 5th day of the 5th week is the 33rd day of the Omer, and that's the Hod Shebahod, the sphere of Hod within Hod. Within the week of Hod, we have all the 7 spherot, and the 5th one is Hod. And so Lag BaOmer is Hod Shebahod. And Hod represents appreciation, represents gratitude. It's the last of all of the 5 main spherot that make up the extremities. So the 6 extremities, in the 6 extremities that we know of, the Shesh Kitzavot, which represent the 6 directions, the 6th one doesn't really have a personality unto itself. It's just a connector. The Yesod is a connector. It combines and unifies all of the 5 extremities, the 5 sphirot that came before it. It unifies and combines the Chesed and the Gevurah and the Tiferet with the Netzach and the Hod, all as one into the Yesod. Okay, so really, in the 7 lower sphirot, and the Malchut as well does the same thing. So the Malchut, after the Yesod has combined everything, it gives it over to the Malchut, and then the Malchut combines it and unifies it even more in a practical, in a more manifested way, okay, in a more revealed way, in a way of birthing all of those aspects into existence. Now, if so, the real 5 personalities, so to speak, the 5 different realities that you have in the lower sphirot, in the 7 lower sphirot, are found in the 5 sphirot of Chesed, Gevurah, which represent the 2 arms, the Tiferet is the body, and the Netzach V'Hod are the 2 legs. The Hod being the final one, the lowest and the last one from these sphirot. And so when you get to Hod Shebehod in Sphirot Omer, you're basically at the end of the Sphirot Omer. One perspective, one way of seeing it is that we have now reached the end of Sphirot Omer. From now on, tomorrow will be the Yesod of the week of Hod, and the Yesod is already not a distinct personality. Yesod is already including and combining that which was. So the new faces of new Sphirot are concluded at the point of Hod Shebehod in Sphirot Omer. That's the night of Lag BaOmer. So that's the end of the end. Okay, it's kind of like the final point of the Sphirot Omer. And what is it? Why is it the final point? And why is it represented by this sphere of a Hod, which means appreciation? It means gratitude. And so appreciation and gratitude is something tremendously, tremendously unique and significant and important. It's one of the most important, most significant, not just one of. What we're going to say now is that it is the most significant and most important character trait and characteristic and sphera. Why is that? So the whole aspect of what appreciation and gratitude is that you are receiving. Gratitude and appreciation is all about, it's an emotion and it's an experience, an inner experience of what happens when you recognize that you are not receiving something because you deserve it or because you did anything to receive it or because it's coming to you and it's for granted. No. Appreciation and gratitude is an emotion that comes from recognizing that I am completely nothing and I have received everything. And to the point and to the extent that you recognize that this is not something that you deserve, this is not something that is coming to you, Magia li, as they say in Hebrew, then you will have more appreciation. Okay, the more that you recognize, to the extent that you recognize that this is something beyond you that you have now received, you will experience even more gratitude in response to that, even more appreciation because of that. And so that means that the lowest point of the Sfirot is the point of being nothing of nothing. Okay, and in that point, the tikkun of that point is recognizing that I have everything of everything. I'm in the lowest of the lowest place, but I have received the highest of the highest and everything in between. And that's why I am completely appreciation and gratitude. My whole essence, there is not a bone in my body that is anything but absolute, complete appreciation and gratitude, because there is nothing in me that is anything aside from what I've received from above. Everything is completely what's called batel la'in sof. Everything is completely nullified and included in Hashem. If there was a part in me that was not included in Hashem, then that part of me would not be experiencing that ultimate, complete appreciation and gratitude to the Ribono Shel Olam. And so that's what Hod Shebehod is. Hod Shebehod is the lowest of the lowest sphera that experiences the greatest of the greatest appreciation, because in the spirit of holiness, that's what the lowest point is. The lowest point is connected to the highest point. And it does that and experiences that through being appreciation of appreciation. There's not even an atom, not even the tiniest point within me, not even the tiniest molecule or atom or particle that is anything but absolutely appreciative and feeling gratitude in each and every moment to the Ribono Shel Olam. And so that's the secret of what's called Mibera Amikta Le'igra Rama. Okay, this is an expression we see in the Gemara, in the Zohar. It means from the lowest of the lowest depths, the depths of the depths, to the highest of the highest peaks of the highest mountain, to the peak of the highest mountain, from the lowest point in the lowest pit to the highest peak of the highest mountain. Okay, that's what it means. Mimbera Amikta Le'igra Rama. And that is what Lag BaOmer represents. That's represented by Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and that's in the merit of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. In the merit of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, we come to this point of experiencing complete inclusion and completely being nullified and included in the Ribono Shel Olam, in the Ein Sof Baruch Hu, and so that from that we come to experience nothing but appreciation and gratitude to Hashem, and that is the point from which, even in the darkest of the darkest end of exile, we will come to the highest of the highest revelation of redemption. And that's why Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says that it's in the merit of my book of the Zohar that Am Yisrael will be delivered from the final exile. With this Sefer of the Zohar, Am Yisrael will merit to be delivered from this final exile. And that's the aspect of why Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is hinted to in the pasuk of where it says about Moshe Rabbeinu, Alita la marom shavita shevi. Moshe Rabbeinu went up, ascended to Shamayim, and he brought back Shevi. And the Arizal explains that Shevi is the Rashi Tevot, the acronym for Shimon Bar Yochai. That Shimon Bar Yochai was a spark of the holy neshama of Moshe Rabbeinu that Moshe Rabbeinu merited when he was up above. Okay, and he brought it back down from above. What does that mean? That means that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is the ability to take the highest of the highest revelations of divine consciousness and bring it down to us in the places, even in the lowest places where we are, so that we may be freed from those shackles, from that concealment of the lowest places of exile into the highest revelations of light of redemption. That's what Shimon Bar Yochai represents. And so in order to conclude, let's get into practical ways to apply and to connect to the light of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and the light of Lag BaOmer. And the ways to do that is obviously, first of all, by practicing gratitude, practicing appreciation on a daily basis. And the way to do that is, one of the best ways to do that is by doing a journaling, a gratitude journal is one of the best ways that have been scientifically proven to increase your feelings of gratitude. And the ways to do that are not only journaling, you can also have a conversation with Hashem every day where you speak out the things that you're grateful for. But more specifically, if you really want to increase the feelings of gratitude, then it's not just enough to say thank you, Hashem, for this and that and whatever. It's about saying, I'm grateful to you, Hashem, and I'm thanking you and I'm appreciating this because everything that you tell thank you, that you say Hashem thank you for, that you express your gratitude for, you must continue that sentence by saying, because why am I feeling gratitude and appreciation for this thing? And then go into greater detail. It's better to go through less things, right? It's greater to have 3 things on your list that you feel grateful for and you express your gratitude for, and you go into greater detail, you increase that feeling of gratitude, than to have 10 things and then just do it in short. And so that's one point of increasing your gratitude through journaling, through speaking to Hashem, and through speaking about why you're feeling gratitude for that. Another point that will increase that is by paying attention to the things in your life and imagining for a moment that you didn't have those things. Right? Imagine if you didn't have a home. Imagine if you didn't have your health, chas v'shalom. Imagine if you didn't have your family. For a moment, just for a moment. And then that brings us to when you recognize, if you thought for a moment about not having something, then you come to a much greater, deeper gratitude and appreciation now that you recognize that you have it. And so this attitude of gratitude is one of the greatest ways to practice the light of Hod Shebahod, which includes everything. And the more you feel gratitude for more things that you feel gratitude, and the deeper that you feel gratitude for the things in your life, the more you will be included within the light of Hashem. You will merit to nullify all of that animal self and all of the layers of darkness that are covering the heart from experiencing the light of the Ribbon Shalom, the light of the Torah. The next point is the aspect of bitachon. The Arizal in Shar Kavanot explains that the day of Lag BaOmer, he explains that the light of Lag BaOmer comes from a certain name of Hashem. Okay, and if you have a paper in front of you, you can write it out so that you can understand what I'm going to say now. The Arizal says that the first 32 days of the Omer are days of judgment, and they are represented by the name of Hashem Elohim. Elohim represents judgment and concealment and constriction. But the Arizal says that in the name Elohim, mainly it's the middle letters of the name Elohim, the letters of Lamed He Yud, that they are letters that represent judgment. They are letters that represent concealment and constriction. Lamed He Yud. The Aleph and the beginning and the Mem at the end doesn't represent judgment. It's only the Lamed and the He and the Yud in the middle. And so says the Arizal that if you take the Lamed and the He and the Yud and you exchange them for the letters that come beforehand in the Aleph Bet, because as we know, the rule is that every letter in the Aleph Bet that is closer to Aleph is less judgment, it's more light. When you get to Tav, the last letter in the Aleph Bet, it's the greatest place, the place of greatest judgment, the place of greatest concealment. And it's represented by Malchut, whereas the Aleph represents the Keter and the Aleph Bet. It represents the highest place, the place of the highest revelation and infinite unconditional love and compassion of Hashem, infinite unconditional kindness and love of Hashem. And so, if you take the Lamed He and the Yud and the Elohim and you exchange them for the letters before those 3 letters, so Lamed becomes Chaf, and He becomes Dalid, and Yud becomes Tet. So now you have a name of Hashem, Aleph, Chaf, Dalid, Tet, Mem. Right? So you leave the letter of Aleph at the beginning and Mem at the end, and just the Lamed He Yud in the Elohim, you exchange it for Chaf, Dalid, Tet. So that's the name of Hashem that Arizal says is the name of bitachon. Because when you have bitachon, when you trust in Hashem, when you let go and let God, all right, and you release into that divine kindness, into that unconditional love of Hashem, that's called trust in Hashem. That sweetens the judgment of Elohim. And says the Arizal that name is revealed on the day of Lag BaOmer. That name of Hashem, Aleph, Chav, Dalet, Tet, Mem, is revealed on the day of Lag BaOmer. And this name of Hashem is the numerical value of 74, Al Ayin Dalet. And he says, the Arizal, that we see that this is connected to bitachon, as the pasuk says, Bitchu ba'Hashem adei ad. Trust in Hashem forever and ever, deeper and deeper, eternally and infinitely. And Ad is the numerical value of this name. So this name, Aleph Chav Dalet Tet Mem, is what happens, that's the sweetening that happens to Elokim when you have trust in Hashem, when you release and let go into the arms, into the outstretched arms, the loving arms of Hashem. You fall back into Hashem, you surrender to the divine, you surrender to Hashem's unconditional love. And that's the light of Lag BaOmer, and that's the light of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And this is just basically exactly what we said a moment ago. Because Hod Shebehod is the place of ultimate. It's the end of the Sefirot. There's darkness. It's the end of the tunnel, and you haven't yet seen the light. Right, so this is the point where the difficulties in a person's life, or the constriction, the exile is too much, and a person doesn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. He doesn't see the light at the end of the tunnel yet, and then at that point he releases and lets go. He lets go. He surrenders into the hands, into the arms of Hashem. He falls back into Hashem's unconditional love, and then that's when the sweetening happens. That's bitachon, that's the trusting in Hashem, and that's when the sweetening of Elokim happens. It sweetens and becomes bitchu b'Hashem adiyad, becomes this name of Aleph Chav Dalet Tet Mem, which is a light that comes from the Bina. Okay, it's a sweetening of the judgment in its source. Okay, it says the Arizal, it comes from the Bina. From the Mochin of Gadlut, the expanded consciousness of Bina, says the Arizal. And so that's the light of Lag BaOmer, because the Arizal says, now listen, pay attention closely. If you do the numerical value, what's the gematria of these letters in the middle of Chav, of this name? Chav Dalid Tet. What's the numerical value? 33. Chav and Tet is 29. And then Dalid is 4, 29, and 4 is 33, which is Lag. Lag. 33, the 33rd day of the Omer. This is the day that this name is revealed. And there's another name of Hashem, says the Arizal, where you just combine the Aleph and the Mem together with the Gal, or the 33, which is the numerical value of these letters in the middle. And that's the name of Hashem, Em Gal. Okay, and so that's alluded to in these names of Hashem, the Ed, Ayin Dalid, which is Aleph Chav Dalet Tet Mem, and the name of Em Gal are alluded to. The transformation of the middle letters of Elokim into Chav Dalet Tet are alluded to in the words of Yaakov. There's a tremendous secret when Yaakov says, Ed Hagal Hazeh, when Lavan runs after Yaakov, and then they made a treaty separating between Yaakov and Lavan, and so now Yaakov is protected and saved from all of those that seek to harm us. So at that point, Yaakov says, Ed Hagal Hazeh, this pile will be a testimony, a witness of our treaty separating between us, and so that you can never harm us, you can never harm me. And so that is Ed Hagal Hazeh. Ed is the numerical value of Aleph Chav Dalet Tet Mem, and Gal are the letters, the letters in the middle that were transformed and sweetened into the numerical value of Gal 33. And so on this day of Lag BaOmer, Gal, when this sweetening happens, we have that sweetening happens in the merit of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, in the merit of the secrets of the Torah, and that's represented in the pasuk in Tehillim. Gal einai ve'abita niflot mitoratecha. Unveil my eyes and uncover my eyes and allow me now to see all the secrets of the Torah. And that happens on the 33rd day of the Omer, when the tov of the Torah, the sweetness, the good of the Torah, the light, the hidden light that was hidden in the Torah is beginning to be revealed, and to prepare us for the Kabbalah to Torah, for receiving the Torah on Shavuot. And that happens in the merit of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And so, in conclusion, so the second aspect of connecting to this power of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and Lag BaOmer is bitachon. Bitachon. And the way that a person can practically apply this, and this is a powerful meditation exercise that a person can do every day, is that when you close your eyes and you do this meditation, you start counting backwards from 100 to 1. or you can do it from 100 to 50 if you don't have so much time. And each one of these numbers that you're counting back, you release and surrender one layer deeper and greater into Hashem's light, into Hashem's unconditional kindness. And all those parts of your conscious mind, all those parts of your mind that tries to figure out solutions and take care of things, you're letting go one more layer, one more level. All you have to do is intend it to be so, and it is so. Just by counting backwards with your eyes closed and intending each number to let go another layer, to let go another level, another dimension, another floor, surrendering more and more into Hashem's unconditional light, unconditional love, and it will be so. And then when you get to the end of that, you pray to Hashem and you visualize how Hashem has answered your prayer, and you visualize what are the feelings that you will feel and the experiences that you will have once that reality is already manifested. And then when you're ready, you can start counting back up from 1 to 5. And so that's a wonderful, very, very powerful meditation that you can actually apply this bitachon and actually make it part of your life, not just to say, yeah, I believe, yeah, I trust in Hashem, but to experience it. And you will see tremendous things change in your life and shift if you're consistent with this meditation, with this exercise. And then finally, the third way that a person can connect to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and to the holy power of BaOmer, to the sweetness that happens, to the sweetening that happens in preparation for Kabbalah to Torah. And this is a little bit obvious, but it's important, very important, that a person should connect themselves to learning the secrets of the Torah. A person should have a time daily where they will learn the secrets of the Torah, be it Zohar or Arizal or Baal Shem Tov or Rabbi Nachman and the other great tzaddikim of Chassidut. But if a person can have, aside from their time that they learn with deep understanding the secrets of the Torah or Chassidut every day, if a person can also set a time even to just read Zohar for 10 minutes a day or for even 5 minutes a day, that is a great way to connect oneself to the light and to the neshama of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and that is known to be tremendously powerful segula for protecting a person from all the judgments and all the difficulties, and especially the difficulties of the end of days, of the end of exile, what's called ikvita de Mashiach, hod shebahod, and turning all of that darkness into the highest light, into the light of the redemption, into the light of Mashiach, into the light of Moshe Rabbeinu. As the Zohar says, Moshe Rabbeinu is Mashiach, and since, as we know, Moshe Rabbeinu is also Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, so we know that the Geula and Mashiach is in the merit and it's in the power of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and Mashiach is an extension of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, an extension of Moshe Rabbeinu. And b'zchut this connection, b'zchut this light, b'zchut this shift in consciousness, b'zchut this tremendous power, the light of the Torah, the light of the Ora Ganuz, the hidden light that is returning to us, that hidden light will illuminate and will shine for us the path of the redemption. It will shine to us that the redemption is already here and already now, and all of the layers of concealment will fall away, and we will merit the complete redemption, the complete Geula Shlema, which is represented by Kabbalah to Torah and Har Sinai. We will merit that b'mehera b'yameinu. Amen.